Hello, welcome to Magical Energy with me, Karen of Golden Oak Therapies. Do you find that you are hearing a lot more about energy, possibly energy blockages or energy systems, on how energy is affecting our health? So in this series of podcasts, I will be exploring the powerful effect of energy, how it impacts upon our health and well-being, how illness can be due to energy blockages, and how we can make sure we are in optimum energetic flow. Energy is something we don't necessarily see, but we can certainly feel it, and it is absolutely essential to our lives. So join me as we explore energy, its effect, and the therapies that bring in magical energy. Welcome to Magical Energy Podcasts, and this is part 2 of energy and vitality. And I wanted to continue to share with you a few more highly effective but quick ways that will benefit your well-being. And all the techniques that we talk about are easily integrated into your day, and as I said before, last no longer than a few minutes. So once again, Mitchell is with me, also practicing the techniques that I talk about. So we're going to go back to a breathing one again, well, two of them really, very simple. And the first one is one that I taught many years ago called 7-11 breathing. And you simply breathe in for a count of 7, and then you breathe out for a count of 11. So you're not taking a massive deep breath, you're not going, it's just a normal breath, but you're counting to 7. But as you breathe out, you're just extending your breath to a count of 11. So with the focus on the extended out breath, you are switching on that parasympathetic nervous system again, which is about slowing down the heart rate and the blood pressure and reducing stress. Also, by counting at the same time, it acts as a form of distraction. So any worrying, negative thoughts, that they also get a bit of respite whilst you're actually counting. The other one to mention now is called 4-part breathing or 4-square breathing. So this time you're breathing in for 4, you're holding for 4, you're breathing out for 4, you're holding for 4 before you breathe in again. And as you become more familiar with this, then you can imagine that as you are breathing in, you are drawing up the energy from the earth into your abdomen, if you like. And as you breathe out, you imagine you're drawing down energy from above you again into your abdomen. So this also gives you a sense of being connected to the energy that is below you and also the energy that's above you, and both which are infinite, if you like. It's what we call the Haaretz line. So moving on, I was going to mention some tapping because we had our whole podcast on tapping or EFT. And I wanted to share with you shortcut ways of using tapping, which are effective but subtle. So one of the ways of reducing anxiety, reducing stress, is to tap on the side of your hand, which is the small intestine meridian. But it actually helps just to start reducing any anxiety down. And you can do it on either hand, but you're just gently tapping. And you can do it subtly so nobody can see you doing it as well. The other point that you can tap on is that collarbone point. So it's those hollows underneath our collarbone, and you can tap on that. So these are our kidney points. And these are all about bringing down any heightened emotion of worry, anxiety, sadness, grief, anger. Finally, there's a point on the back of our hand, which is called the gamut point. So on the back of our hand, in between our ring finger and little finger, there's a point, and we don't tap on it, we almost like massage it. So again, it's very subtle. You can do it and nobody will notice that you're doing it. All those three will actually bring down any heightened emotions that you may be feeling at that time, and it sort of brings that energy back into balance again. There are lots of other tapping points, but I just wanted to share those subtle ones that can be done quite easily without anybody noticing that you're tapping away. Okay, so another one from Energy Medicine and Donna. It's called the Triple Warmer and Spleen Hug. So let's explain those two meridians. So the Triple Warmer meridian is known as the Great Warrior, and it leaps into action just like an army whenever the body is under threat. So it's part of that fight, flight, freeze response. But it leaps in to help us cope with toxins, viruses, but also things like negative thoughts and worries as well. The spleen is called the Great Matriarch. So it also comes in to help us deal with danger to the body, but in a much more gentler way. And it helps us to emotionally adjust more to difficult situations, as well as metabolizing and helping us with emotional change that may be going on for us. What happens in our modern life, though, is that often it's the triple warmer that's overactivated, if you like. It's almost like constantly on the go, and the spleen meridian is sort of underactivated, so they're not in balance. So we need to do something that brings them both into balance and connect and communicate with each other. So what we do, very simply, we place our right hand on our left upper arm. Yeah, so if you think our spleen meridian's running down there, we place our left hand on the side, opposite side along the ribs. So what we're holding on to is the triple warmer and the spleen meridian. And all you do is just hold it there. So you might want to be watching television or gently, walking or something like that. But what you're doing, you're activating both the triple warmer and the spleen meridian to get them to communicate with each other and calm down. Okay, so moving on, I thought I'd just talk about attitude. I mentioned it a little bit in the part one. So we know that thoughts can be very powerful. They can be very automatic, though, because some thoughts or beliefs we've said in our heads over and over again many, many times. But our thoughts can influence how we feel, what our emotions are, and then ultimately affects our behaviour, what we do or don't do. And we know that our energy follows thoughts. So the more we think in a certain way or hold a belief about something, then we are more likely to keep attracting that back to us. And that can be positive, but also it can be negative as well. So it's great if those thoughts are helpful and beneficial, and it's not so great if we are constantly having negative, worrying, unhelpful thoughts in our head. But the good news is that we have control over our thoughts, and we can actually choose what to think. So simply put, first of all, we need to be aware of the inner dialogue that goes on in our head. We can chat away to ourselves in our head. And then really decide, can we change the situation that we're angry about or that we're worried about? And if we can change it, then take action to do so. So that's part of taking control. We may have another choice in that we could let go of those thoughts. And a question that I quite like asking is this going to be important to you in 6 weeks' time? And if it's not, it's absolutely a waste of energy and time to keep, focusing on it and mulling it over all time. Just let it go. The third choice we have with our thoughts is sometimes we need to accept situations that we can't change. So however much the thoughts are, we don't like it, it's not fair, if we carry on with that, nothing is going to change, because the situation isn't going to change and we're just going to make ourselves more unwell. So this is often the most difficult choice of accepting it, but by choosing to accept a situation, you're taking back control over your thoughts. So 3 options: can we change it? Can we let go? Or do we need to accept it? And the final one is a really great one for ending the day. I call it sort of brushing off, if you like. As previously mentioned, we know that our energy is affected by other people. Some people have, really buoyant, happy, joyful energy, and we feel good around them. And there are some people that, oh God, we just feel so drained with them. But as we go through the day, and either whether we're meeting people that we know or just passing by people in the street, we can pick up other people's energy, and we don't want to carry it around with us. We want to somehow find a way of letting it go. So what I suggest at the end of the day, you just brush this energy off. So imagine you've almost like got a hairbrush in both hands, and you're brushing down your head, your hair, off your shoulders, off your arms and your hands, down your body, down your legs, and off at the feet. The thing to do though is don't brush that onto another person. Yeah, brush it off towards what we call the light. Brush it out the window. Brush it out the door. And what you're doing is getting rid of any person's energy that might have been attached to you. There are so many different ways and techniques and exercises that support our energetic health, but I hope that you've able to bring some of the ones that I've talked about into your daily life. And I'm always happy for people to contact me through my website, Golden Oak Therapies.
That's great, Karen. I especially enjoyed the 7-11 breathing technique because for me personally, it's so simple and I can do it anywhere I like. Who knew how important energy was to our health and that we need it flowing freely without any blockages? So I hope you've enjoyed these podcasts on magical energy and have found it interesting to get to know the effect of energy and also some of the treatments that focus on it. All the information can be found, as you said, on your website, Golden Oak Therapies, and on your new YouTube channel, Golden Oak Therapy.
I hope you enjoyed and found this podcast interesting. So join me for more of them as we talk about this wonderful and magical energy.